Jonah-Ajonye has committed to Georgia. If you follow us over on Dog Post, if you're a subscriber, this is not a surprise to you. Matt DeBerry has been talking about this for some time now. This happened late last night, and we can't be everywhere all the time. Putting the video out now about this big commitment. I mean, if you watch this young man play, he's definitely. I think it's a very good pickup. This is a situation where he's visited Georgia. He called it his dream school. This is not a surprising thing. Oklahoma, I think, was the headliner coming into this thing. I'm going to show you real quick where Matt was talking about this earlier in the year. You can see it right here. It says Dog Post believes Georgia's a team to beat. He told Dog Post last week that Georgia's his dream school. I mean, it's not just been us that he's been telling people that. So, I mean, this is a big pickup for Georgia. I mean, 4-star kid, big kid. And, they continue to add to this really good class. They're not done. I think the thing to remember here is this class is not going to be limited to 25 players. That someone can correct me if I'm wrong here, but that rule has gone out the window. So thinking that these classes are going to be smaller or whatever, no, they're going to go get as many guys as they can because I don't think there's any restrictions anymore. Now, there was for such a long time, but the NCAA in its infinite wisdom has decided to change their mind about that. This is, Georgia's, I think, 23rd commitment of this cycle, 24th. Sorry. And, we've got this over on the site. This is not live. I'm recording this before it happens. But, they're really adding up guys. A lot of guys who are not from Georgia, Dylan Raiola being one of them, Robinson, obviously the elite cornerback who's playing at IMG. Just the other day, I talked to y'all about Daniel Calhoun. Dwight Phillips Jr., who I played with his father in high school, and is, I mean, if he's half as fast as Dwight is, you're gonna be really wanting to see him play, and get out in the open. But this is another good pickup, a guy that, when Matt's talking to him about his situation, in terms of playing at Georgia, this is about, guys going to the league. I mean, it matters to these players. Here's another look at the site. Make sure you're subscribing to Dog Post. We're going to have some offers coming up soon, but geez, you're missing out. He told Matt earlier in the day, winning is important to me beforehand. Getting developed and becoming the best in the country is also important. Georgia is also important. Georgia has all the tools for me to become the best. The weight room is amazing. The treatment facilities are amazing. The rehab facilities are the best I've seen. So it's just a little glimpse into, what he had to say before picking the Dogs. This is not surprising with high-level defensive linemen. Pick up Double Dogs today. You'll get the 2023 preview. This offer's not going to last long. Take advantage of it now before the time runs out for it. This is not available on bookshelves. The only place you can get it is down below or at Red Zone. Speaking of which, just real quick, I do want to promote this real quick. Our friends at Red Zone, they've got this trucker hat available for y'all. This is exclusive to Red Zone, okay? Very nice. I'm going to have the link down below for that too. I'm not going to put it on because it has all the correct stuffing in it. But, this too can be yours. Boy, wow. There's going to be some memes on that deal. I think anytime you get these commitments, it's a big deal. It matters. It's an important step in the process. This guy is a bigger guy, but he's not huge. 6'4", 270. And when I say a bigger step in the process, when you look at the board over here, you got guys like Williams, Jefferson, Ingram Dawkins. These guys have to be developed. They've had their first season in Athens. And when you look at what's happened with Jordan and Devontae and Trayvon and everybody that's come to this defensive line lately, it's been what's powered the program. Well, let's be honest. When you look back at Kirby's time in Alabama, they had elite defensive linemen. That really helped them win national championships back in the day. Clemson, no question, they had great defensive linemen, elite defensive linemen during that three-year stretch where they won 2 national titles. This is what makes teams special. When you can't run and you become one-dimensional, it's really hard to win. And this particular way of doing things is the fastest way to make someone one-dimensional. If they cannot run on you, they gotta throw. You can try to throw on people all day long. You can. But like when it's 3rd and 2, you really need to run the ball, and you can't, you're in real trouble. Because what happens over time is, even if you're at 70% clip, if you fail on 3rd and 2, it's 4th and 2. It's not certain that you won't, get the ball, convert the first down on 4th and 2, but you just didn't do it on 3rd and 2. You really want to give up the ball at your 30-yard line? So you got to be able to run the ball. And frankly, when you have these guys coming off the edge, like at Georgia with Sorey, Mondon, Sorey, Jefferson, Chaz Chambliss, whoever the pass rushers are going to be, Williams, coming into 23, you really want to give them 3 downs to go hit your quarterback. So it's about preparing a line so that the other guys can't run. And when you can't run, you can't win in this league. You just can't. And that's why Alabama's had success against Georgia. They've limited Georgia's run game. They've slowed it down enough. And that's why we've seen teams like Florida struggle so much with the Dogs in the last, in Kirby's tenure. They just have not run well. I mean, they ran effectively one time, and that's when they won, which was 2020. So, even that day they didn't win great. So that game was wild. But this is a big pickup for Georgia. Trey Scott, one of the big moves, truthfully, like if you go back and look at, why did Georgia win national championships? What were the moves that made that happen? One of the moves was moving on from Tracy Rocker. Was moving on to Trey Scott, and that's been a really important thing for the Dogs, and they're getting to where they are today, because the guys that were recruited while Rocker was there, they weren't bad players at all. Ledbetter, all those guys. I mean, they were really good players. They were not first-round draft pick guys, necessarily. And now you've seen what's happened with Trey Scott. I guess what I'm trying to get at is his going to Georgia from Carolina really was one of the many steps that had to happen, or that helped Georgia win the national championship. We talk about Todd Monken a lot, and we should. I mean, Todd Monken mattered a lot. There's just no question about that. Same thing with Dan Lanning and Glenn Schumann and Will. Those guys all have mattered at their coordinator positions. But where Georgia's really gotten better has been the move from Rocker, in my opinion, the move from Rocker's recruiting to Trey Scott's recruiting, and how the development too has been just phenomenal. I mean, God, y'all, you've had multiple first-round draft picks that are defensive linemen that are Trey Scott's responsibility completely. I don't know Trey, so I'm just telling it like I see it, and he's done an absolutely great job. I think the hope, and I don't know yet, is if, and no, I don't think anyone knows yet, is if BMAC, if Brian McClendon can do the same thing at receiver. Can he do the same thing he did at running back at receiver almost 10 years later? Can he go get Isaiah and Keith and Todd and Nick and Sony? Can he get those kind of guys at receiver? Because that's the spot where Georgia really does need to get better. They're not bad right now, but like if you could replicate what Trey's done in that time. Now I do know BMAC slightly, so this is a different ballgame. It's full disclosure. So I I would not be surprised if that were the case. But I mean, I think for Kirby's one of the best things that he does as a program runner. I don't know what other term to use. A person that runs a program, as the head coach. The best thing that he's done is he really has gone out and got really good assistant coaches. I mean, it just the only person that's not win the national championship on this staff as an assistant coach, I think, is Mike. And he was on the staff as a support guy a season ago. So I don't know. I'm trying to think of if anybody. I mean, Stacy, everybody else, has been around the block for a while. So it's been a good staff. Now, it's not surprising that they're getting these players and that they're developing. I mean, Georgia has invested heavily in winning in football as a university. It's a thing that matters to them now in a way that it did not in the past. Okay, I've talked about this a lot, but for this program to get players who are calling Georgia their dream school and they live in Texas and they look like they have the capability of really being dangerous in the future on the football field, I mean, that's a testament to how important that is. But it's a good job by Trey Scott, no doubt about it.